Arsenal have signed Eze. Arsenal have signed Eze just now. Confirmation of that. Fabrizio Romano has just tweeted breaking. Eberechi Eze to Arsenal. Here we go. Verbal agreement in place between all parties. Crystal Palace to receive package in excess of 60 million as Eze preferred Arsenal over Spurs. Arsenal win race over Tottenham. Been in advanced talks for days, but never sealed. First thought, spare a thought with the Spurs fans. That is a rough L to take, particularly to your arch rivals. Maybe they could have got the deal wrapped up quicker, but actually I think as Crystal Palace wanted to get El Canu sorted first. Obviously the Havertz injuries probably prompted Arsenal into doing this, but this is disgusting. I am an Arsenal hater. Everybody knows that. I love it when Arsenal lose. I love it when I can banter Arsenal. And I've always said, if Arsenal sign a left winger, they can win the league. Now, Eze is more of a central player, but he can play on the left. I said, if Arsenal sign another good attacker, they can win the league. But I thought, well, they're not getting Leao, they're not getting Eze. Doesn't look like they've got the money. Apparently, they need sales to do a deal. Well, clearly that's not the case because they've just gone and got Eze for £60 million. A player of Eze's quality going to Arsenal. Arsenal are now title contenders. They've always been title contenders, but they're now, for me, very much capable of winning the league. This is a ridiculous signing for Arsenal, and I am very jealous. So yeah, in today's video, I'm going to give you my thoughts on Eze, why it's a good signing for Arsenal, how he fits in, my general thoughts on Arsenal, and why this is so big and what their season is like to come, and more. So, of course, feel free to hit the like button and subscribe down below if you are new. Now, I actually did a video earlier today talking about how the Havertz injury changes Arsenal's plans, and then that went really out of date because in that video I said, well, Eze is going to Tottenham, so they can't get Eze. So I have unlisted that video because it's very out of date. And we're now doing a video on Arsenal signing Eze. So, if I look at Arsenal, and if I was to describe Arsenal as a Manchester United fan, being completely unbiased, the best defence in the Premier League, the best team off the ball in world football, the best defence arguably in world football, a very solid midfield, but the attacks where there's question marks. Now, Saka is a world-class player. Madueke is a really good depth option for Saka, and he can also play on the left, but he's just a good depth option for Saka because one thing Arsenal learnt last season was with the injuries, depth is important, and they didn't have the best depth in attack last season. So I feel like Mikel Arteta's looked at Arsenal's two biggest weaknesses last season, which was lack of depth because of injuries, and maybe Arsenal being predictable and struggling to break down low blocks. And all of a sudden, Arsenal signed three players in Madueke, Eze, and Gyökeres that are very unpredictable players, all players with high shot volume, all players that can make something out of nothing, but also massively improves Arsenal's depth. We all know Arsenal have the best defence. We all know Arsenal out possession are probably the best team in the world. But Arsenal haven't won anything because of the lack of, I think, unpredictability in the final third. And bringing in Madueke and bringing in Gyökeres and bringing in Eze brings that unpredictability. All of a sudden, I feel like this Arsenal squad can go to that next level because of this Eze signing. They have Wanyeri, they have Max Dowman to come in, but for me, Eze is game changer. So as I said, Saka is world class, Madueke is really good backup. Gyökeres. Everybody's saying that Gyökeres is a flop and Gyökeres is rubbish because, yes, he was rubbish versus Manchester United. Everything was off versus Manchester United. His touch was off. Everything. He was rubbish. But you can't say off one game that Gyökeres is going to be a bad signing. People said that with Haaland and he broke all the records because Haaland was bad in the Community Shield. Like, Saka was rubbish versus Manchester United at the weekend. Is Saka a rubbish player? No, he's world class. And I'm saying this as a Man United fan. I am confident that Gyökeres is going to be a success at Arsenal. I wanted him at Manchester United. I was very jealous when he went to Arsenal, but I'm confident Gyökeres will be a success. Havertz is injured, but you've got two 20-goal season strikers in Gyökeres and Havertz. You've got Saka and Madueke as a good rotation option. But the question has been Martinelli, Trossard, of course Madueke can play there, but that's been a big question mark. But now you've brought in somebody that is really good in Eberechi Eze. And that is done. The here we go is there. He is joining Arsenal. And not only have you done it in the matter of Spurs got all excited and thought they were signing him, so it's a massive blow to Spurs fans, and I feel for the Spurs fans. That's going to hurt a lot, especially with City demanding a crazy price for Savinho. It looked like it was going all too well for Tottenham. But you're signing someone that is a really good ball carrier, someone that can play as the 10. So if you want to rotate Odegaard and you want something a bit different, he can do that. He's a good number 10. He's a really good central ball carrier. And he's probably one thing Odegaard sometimes does is take too many touches or take too much time with the ball, whereas Eze can get the ball drive and maybe get Arsenal moving quicker in attack, which is going to complement Yoker as well. Eze complements Yoker as well. He's that kind of player. But he can play on the left, he can play centrally. He's very good at carrying the ball, getting the ball up the pitch, but he's also very good at keeping the ball. He's not someone that's easy to push off the ball. He's not someone who can just push off the ball here, and he keeps the ball and he sustains pressure, which I think is something that Martinelli lacks. If I look at Eze, he can play 10, he can play left wing. He likes to come more inside as a left winger. And I know Arteta likes his left wingers to be wider. So there is question of, do Arsenal need to look at an overlapping fullback to get the best out of Eze on the left? But I think when you look at Eze, if he's given a bit of a free role to operate behind Gyökeres, I think it could work crazy because his movement could draw out players and draw out space for Gyökeres to run the channels. And we know that Gyökeres does his best work when he runs the channel. But he also solves the creativity issue. Arsenal struggle to break down low blocks, and the best way to break down low blocks is chaos. And what Eze brings is chaos. He can score worldies of a goal outside the box. He can win you games. I've slated Arsenal and Odegaard particularly last season because while you had a higher XG than PSG and you had all those chances versus PSG, you couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. With Gyökeres and with Eze, they're the type of players that they don't even need a big chance. They can sometimes score a worldie of a goal. We saw Eze in his 3 kicks, put the ball in the back of the net out of nowhere. They can sometimes do something out of nowhere, which is what Arsenal need. Arsenal need game winners. How many times has Real Madrid played bad, like literally 2 of their Champions League finals, but then won the game because of individual brilliance, because they've got an attacker that can score something really good even when the other team had been the better side? How many times have Liverpool not played well but got the 3 points in their title-winning season? Same with Manchester City. So many times that these top teams don't play well but they get the 3 points, whereas of Arsenal, other than the Man United game at the weekend, there's been very few examples of Arsenal playing well but actually getting the 3 points, because they sometimes lack those players with that individual brilliance in them, that individualism in them. And with Eze, you've got someone that can create something which is going to help cause chaos, it's going to help creativity, it's going to be a good player to link up with Gyökeres and create for Gyökeres and give him service, which is obviously going to cause more goals in itself. He's going to bring chaos, unpredictability, he can drift central, he can carry the ball well, he gets goals and assists. Last season, I think he got 25 goals and assists in all contributions, and all goals, 25 goal contributions in all competitions last season. He's obviously got the work rate. We know that he's got a good injury record, which is something that is a big green flag for Arsenal right now. But it is his ability to create separation from his defender and get shots off. Eze, Madueke, and Gyökeres are all players with really high shot volume. All players that are able to get away from the defender and get a shot off. And even if that shot doesn't go in the back of the net, it's a sign of, well, these players can win you games and these players can get goals. And the best way to break down a low block is chaos. And with Eze, with the dribbling, with the unpredictability, with him being able to score worldies from outside the box, chaos, him linking up with Gyökeres, that helps Arsenal. If you look at Arsenal, their biggest issues with depth and breaking down low blocks and predictability. Eze, Madueke, Gyökeres all solve that issue. They all give Arsenal more options in depth. They all give Arsenal more unpredictability. All of them have good injury records. All of them have a high volume shot takers. Eze got 25 goal contributions last season. He brings league experience. He brings versatility. He's an elite dribbler. Eze is this creator that can stay fit, that can make opportunities, that works well and combines with teammates. He's an engine, he can cover ground, he can do repeated sprints. We talk about Arsenal being wasteful in transition opportunities, but we know that Eze is good at that. And he might not be completely rapid, but he's fast and he can come central and he can come inside. And he's one of those wing midfielders that is an elite ball carrier. But unlike a Morgan Rogers, he can make those line-breaking passes and he can unlock final thirds and thread those passes to unlock final thirds. He can help break down those low blocks with his passing, with his movement, with him opening up space for Victor Gyökeres. And, if he's profiled correctly and played in that maybe left 10 row where he's not really hugging the touchline, but he's coming inside more, it works well. He recently turned 27. He's in his prime age. He's proven. He's Premier League proven. He's ready to make an impact now. You know, Madueke is still raw. While Madueke can be a good signing, he's not going to come in and make a huge impact right away. Whereas Arsenal they want to win the league, so you need proven. And I think that's why he went with Gyökeres over Sesko. And I think that's why Eze is such a good move, because he's proven. 25 goal contributions last season, 17 goal contributions the season before that, and 15 goal contributions the season before that. There's 3 seasons of consistent output. He can cross, he can dribble, he can take set pieces. Opening days, there are 2 out of 2 set pieces ruled out the last 2 opening days. But he's a massive player. And yeah, look, this is disgusting, because for me, as an Arsenal hater, Arsenal signing Eze is the final piece of that puzzle. I think Arsenal win something. And I like bantering Arsenal for not winning trophies. But I think they're going to win something. And I think Gyökeres is going to be good. Thank you for watching. Bye.